If you like what you see, just come along and I'll explain you how I did. She's a beautiful, gorgeous model that I find in the street, and she accepted to modeling for me. All the material we're gonna use here, they are second-hand, vintage, fusing together to obtain this one-of-a-kind piece. Perfect for between season, is a really funny piece to wear. I really hope you can understand my accent. I will try my best. So my name is Viviana, and let's start this project together. They're gonna be a lot of fun. And if you like, please comment and subscribe. This is gonna help a lot my channel. Everything started with these extra large flannel shirts. I paired it with the bottom of another flannel scrap I have from another project, just to make a different shade of color and the length enough to make it dusters and transform it on the model you see before. So I pin it together with these clips, and they are really easy to use. I like to use them. I believe I buy them in Amazon, so you can find it easily everywhere. You need to be aware that they need to match together, so you will proceed to pin it all around. I do cut the sleeve. The easy way to do that is put it on your cutting mat, so you know already you're gonna cut exactly the same portion, both sides. So like this is how they look when you sew the two parts together. Then I decide to cut one of the pockets, since this shirt has two of them. That's gonna leave me more space to put my patch and decoration. And I believe also they give like a nice boho touch, whimsical touch. This will be the main decoration of this piece of art. Is an old pillow. Actually, there was a collectible pillow that you will buy on sewing, and then you need to put it together and you will form in your pillow of Cabbage Patch. The people from the 80s, they probably recognize, the mom from the 80s, they probably recognize that. The material was really thin, 100% really thin cotton, so I decided to interface this cotton to make it more sturdy. The interface is a material that is made with a glue in one part, and the other part is like just cotton. You recognize the glue side because they have a kind of a little bumpy, more texture, and the other side is more smooth. The way you interface your fabric is like just put your iron on without moving, and then you will move it to the other side and keep it like for 10 seconds. Every interface, they have a different type of instructions, so just read the instruction of yours. If you use like a fabric, then they need an interface underneath, because you believe they can fray or is too thin, the interface, they're gonna be your friends. Now I proceed to fussy cut all around the image that I will use as a patchwork. Fussy cut is an expression, if you don't know, they use a lot the quilter, in the quilter world, that just means that to cut all around of the image. And that was really funny to do, because this image is actually done to be fussy cut, but you will see on the final project I decide also to keep all the extraction and all the part of the pillow that you usually, when you make a pillow, you will throw away. But in this case I decide to keep it because they will give like a nice touch to the final word. I didn't keep the back of the pillow, just I keep this little frog that was on the back of the pillow because I think she was really cute, and actually I put on the front of the duster. This is the front of the pillow that I will use on the back of my duster actually. And I also proceeding to do the same, like fussy cutting all the area I want to keep. These they are the actually instruction. They're gonna tell you how to assembling the pillow, but I will use that on one of the sleeve. I think was the perfect funny decoration for one of the sleeve of the duster. I try to keep most I can of this collectible pillow because yes, I don't want to miss nothing, and it's like 30 years almost of I have it, so I don't want to really miss anything and try to keep the most I can. I love to add flower motif on my wearable art, and I find this fabric, it's probably from the 60s, I believe, but the color was matching perfectly with the Cabbage Patch hair and with the entire creation. So again, I fussy cut all around the flyer I want to keep for my creation. Something that I love to do is distress my fabric. I know, I think the distress part, they kind of give textures to the fabric, and they also allow me to put an extra color. Since I'm gonna sew a different fabric underneath, there is always like a pop of color that they can kind of show up to the distress. So I put the fabric on top of my cutting mats, and then with an X-Acto knife or also a paper cutting knife, I just go back and forth and create some hole, and also like fibers and stuff. I mark where I want the distress. You can go top to bottom or left or right, depending on the type of distress you want to create on your fabric. I picked this fabric. There was a white with some calligraphy. Then gonna show up a little bit. Another way you can add a little pop of color is add your patch underneath. So in this case, I just cut before, sorry I didn't show you, but I cut just a little rectangular piece from the duster, and I put underneath another piece of fabric. So like this, you have a really clear color of the patch. In this case, it's like this light mint color with the same orange flower. They gonna match the big flower with fussy cut before and the hair of the Cabbage Patch doll. I pin it all around, and now start the more funny part, and this is the placement of the patchwork. You remember the little frog we cut from the pillow? That's gonna be on the front, and I added some piece of fabric and also some piece of lace as well. And this is the part where you can really unleash your creativity. There is not wrong and right, just do it how you feel it. I add the flower, I add a different type of fabric. This, for example, is a piece of a sample of tapestry. This is the big flower we cut fussy cut before. I put it on the side. I always move around the stuff. Believe me, just have fun. They always come in good, doesn't matter what. I use a zigzag stitch to attach all my patches on the flannel. Right now I'm adding this ruffle on the bottom. Is a blue with a tiny polka dot, and I don't know, I think always polka dot and check, they always look nice together. They give a funny touch, and this one is all around the bottom of the skirt. I didn't need to actually gather this fabric because it was a ruffle from an old, I believe it was a bedding or something like this. So it was coming already gathering, ready to stitch. In this case, I don't pin nothing. I just go with the flow because it's pretty easy, but feel free to pin everything. If you are new to sewing, pin gonna be your best friends. They're gonna help you so much to sewing. Okay, you may be a little bit more time consuming, but trust me, it's much more easy when you pin it out. Now I turn the fabric on the front and I do something that is called top stitch. When you top stitching, you ensure that your fabric gonna always stay on the position you want, even especially when you wash it. The top stitch, they will keep the fabric in place. So right now I top stitch in this fabric to keep it nice and flat. Now is the time to add some trim. This trim, they're also original from the 60s. The green was the same exactly green of part of the Cabbage Patch pillow. And in this case, I do pin it all around. And then I will proceed to sew him. Something that I like to do when I am at the end of the duster, especially there is the bottom side. I like to put it underneath. That's gonna give a really nice and crisp finish. I decided to use this stretchy fabric for the sleeves, so they're gonna give a really nice touch because they're gonna create like a puffy side on top, and they're gonna be stretchy and tight on the bottom. They're gonna be a little bit more wide on the top and narrow on the part that they're gonna be nearby the hands. I added this elastic trim, then they come with a beautiful organza with sequin on top. They're gonna give like more elasticity to the fabric, and this is already elastic, but to keep it even more together. I didn't film it, but I did put also a little hole for the tongue, and I really love the result. I put this lace on the bottom of the sleeve, halfway, and on the top of the elastic part of the sleeve. I hope I explained you well. It's the first time I make a video on how to do something, so I hope I try to make my best. This is the final result. I think they come fantastic. I really love it, and feel free to make the same, something similar. It's so nice to reuse old fabric. We have so much fabric around, pillows and anything you think that you can use it. Just do it. Don't be afraid of. If you like this video, I know it was really long, but please subscribe, and there's gonna be much more to come. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye.